There's some places locally that do it up there, like bee farming and stuff that will sell the honey.
Hmm. Yeah, because I love the one here because there's at the farmers market. There's always a older lady there that sells honey, and it's delicious.
All right. Welcome back, everybody.
Why are you so dressed up, Liam?
I'm wearing a collar.
That's dressed up.
That's not dressed up.
I could put on my pea coat.
It's a comfortable. It's a comfortable shirt and a nice warm boat-related jacket.
Blech. Those things are comfy. I hate that they're so comfy because they have the boat stuff on them.
You're only supposed to wear them once you're out of the Navy. I think that's the rules.
That's why mine is vacuum sealed until I get out.
They're really good to sleep in.
Fresh amine smell sealed in.
You messed up if you wore this thing on the actual boat. All right. Where were we? Who would like to recap last session while I finish getting something ready?
Found out Casimir's the Mind Flayer.
That is a theory that we're working with.
Or he's a servant of the Mind Flayer. He's definitely got some power he's not sharing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hey, bud.
So we started off going down a tunnel. We went down the shaft from the entrance and took off down a tunnel and found out that the tunnels have lots of ins and outs and loops and things, and we got tricked by some ogres and goblins who are smarter than your average mooks. And wound up taking a little break after we got out of that encounter and found some nifty things in the poor elf's backpack whose brain got scooped. Some cool stuff.
All right.
Which include the contents of a scholar pack, a hilt of a strange great sword, which seems to only talk to Briar, 10 gold, 12 silver pieces, 18 copper pieces, 15 days of ration, 25 knuckle-sized rocks of various shapes, which were claimed by Briar, a thick glass spear, which we identified as a drift glove, which is currently tied to Briar's backpack, a strange empty pouch, which actually turned out to be a spice pouch that is currently in the possession of Azrael, a purple and gold spell book that was promptly claimed by what's your character's name?
Matari.
Demetari, there we go. And a leather journal, which either Azrael or Snow currently has, one or the other.
What was the last?
A
The journal.
leather-bound journal, which is either in the possession of
I would
Azrael or
expect.
Snow.
And then Wanda also found Broomstone in the corridor that had no mushrooms in it.
So we should think about the gift of inspiration. Thoughts?
Yes. Who would you guys like to grant inspiration to from last session?
I feel like granting it to Jim, or sorry, I should say Javid, because he got the backpack that had all the goodies. And we very much want the goodies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
fair.
Azrael tried to talk Javid out of getting
Azrael is
note.
very mission-based. The mission was not to get the backpack.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Thank you.
And if I remember correctly, we just took a short rest.
Correct.
Right.
So, and I think we currently, the drift globe, I don't have, maybe I can get it up. Is that bright light for 30 feet? I'll look, because it's currently on Briar, so she can turn it on and off, but I'm assuming right now it's on so we can see.
The keyword for it is illuminate in Elvish.
Can she speak Elvish?
You can teach her how to say illuminate. It's the light spell, so 20-foot radius bright, 20-foot dim.
Okay.
Or
So-
daylight, which is huge.
What?
That is in
What?
fact huge.
What do you mean or daylight?
Yeah, I don't see.
Um,
I'm reading it right here.
I clicked on Drift Globe in D&D Beyond, and it says you can emanate light or daylight spell.
It's a craft drift globe.
Oh, okay.
So it just has the light spell, and the light spell only gives bright light. It's basically a torch. Bright light within 20 feet, and then dim light for additional 20 feet. And it can be any color we want, which I imagine Briar would have it be whatever bright, pretty color she likes, which Emily's not here, so.
We'll just call it green, the color of her wings.
Sure.
Alright. You all kind of stand up, finish, do some last stretches, completing your short rest. Where would you guys like to go? Deeper within the caves, where you guys saw the ogre flee, you can see it changes its the way that the cave looks. It varies now. It turns into much more natural and less of a mine and more of a cave. And it begins
Can I
sinking
tell?
itself deeper.
I had gotten a whiff of, was it ozone, of the Underdark before?
Yes.
Can I tell which would be an appropriate path to continue down toward the Underdark?
I think we said you guys know that the direction the ogre ran was the direction in which the ozone grows more
All right.
stronger. So it's not like an overpowering smell. It's kind of like when you take a deep breath, because I'm pretty sure you guys were rolling pretty well on your perception checks. It's like if you know that it's there, you can smell it, and that it does become easier to pick up as you travel in this direction.
Is it kind of like when you're traveling to the ocean and you start to smell salt?
Yes, it's like you guys are a few miles away from the ocean, equivalent, and it's like, you can almost you can start to taste it on your tongue, especially if you're familiar with it. Casimir kind of walks over to the corner and peeks his head around, looking into the darkness a little bit. And are we going to light off that thing that you found earlier, or are we just going blind again?
Well, they know we're here. We no longer have the element of surprise. It would be better to see.
Right, yes, better to have people able to walk along and see rather than stumble into something.
We
I'll
also will
say
not be blind.
illuminate in Elvish.
All right. It like almost with like this like very high like bell ping. You see this like light just flares forth from it and illuminates the entire section of cavern you're in. 40 feet is a lot of a light.
And you do not need to be within 40 feet. Javid can go ahead. And people could be behind as well if Snow and Onyx want to stay behind 40 feet of Briar. That's also possible.
I do recommend we keep an eye out behind because it would be very much like these tricksy ogres and goblins to ambush us from behind with as many twists and turns and what have you.
Should also watch out for traps. They've had time.
And I'm a little uncomfortable with how much knowledge they'll have of the area compared to us.
All right, this is home turf for them.
As actually, can I get who is kind of keeping watch? I guess I should say, or who is kind of paying attention to things down in the cavern?
Yo.
Yeah, I think each
I
of
will
us
be.
are, but I definitely am.
I am ever alert.
Can I get perception checks?
Mine rolled twice for some reason.
Well, luckily for you, your first roll was better.
I look at Onyx at 21.
Your owl is having a rough go of it.
Yeah,
Wanda?
I don't know.
It's the light. She's not used to the light.
Yeah, Wanda kind of like looks at it and is just like kind of like squinting, little owl face. All right, Onyx, you feel kind of through your toes and like this like almost imperceptible shift in the air. You hear a dull thud and a rumble deep beneath your feet.
Well, I think we're gonna have more fun as we go deeper. It sounds like they're doing something below us.
We should hurry.
I want my ears to do that cat thing where they just like kind of like hone
yeah.
in.
Definitely.
You don't think there's a chance they're trying to cave us in?
It's possible.
It might be. Did it sound like natural, like continual rumbles, or like one solid, like boonk?
It was one. It was one thud.
And it sounded like a cave-in following, or just the thud and a rumble.
Just a rumble.
I like
and a
it.
thud.
Sounds like
Gate
deep from a
closing.
distant.
Gate closing, door dropping,
Alright.
ogre putting something down. Could be anything.
All right. Well, let's move out.
And we're moving.
So we start heading out in the direction, heading to the natural part of the cave from whence scent of Underdark emanates.
All right. What is your marching order? So I assume Javid is up front.
Yeah, I want to be leading up right behind Javid. Not like giving him his good 15 to 20 feet, but I want to be the second one.
I'll be next to Briar where the light is.
I can be back more than 40 feet behind just to see if there's something, because I want to be within 60 feet of Briar just so I can keep an eye on her, but 40 feet so I'm not in the light. More than 40 feet so I'm not in the light.
I'm gonna be in the back as well.
Okay, so it's our 3 no dark visions with Onyx in the middle, Javid way up front, and then Snow and Azriel bring up the rear. Alright. Can I get... Hold on a second. Alright, whoever is leading the way, so I guess Javid, can I get a survival check from you? Okay, nat 20, got it.
Preternatural.
Yeah. You leave the kind of relative safety, or at least that you've got accustomed to your little campsite, and begin making your way into the more natural cave. As you travel, you can tell that it was formed most likely by water kind of passing through here. It is damp in most spaces. You can see like there's like small pool sections that the mushrooms have like grown up around.
Do we see any signs that this has been worked either by the miners or more recently, or is it pretty much all just a natural?
You
Oh, he's having classic gym internet problems.
classic gym internet problems. So,
But
what you can tell is that. Are you looking for specific signs? So you're just kind of your survival check is for you kind of following. There is a trail from the ogre. What you can make out is that the like large, like litter or like little tower thing that he was carrying the goblins on his back is like
the
fallen.
pavilion?
Yeah, the pavilion, I guess is a good word for it. He like dropped a large section of it back in the previous hallway, but he's like losing like little chunks of it off of him because it was not well constructed at all. That thing was an OSHA violation, you know, basically. So there's like, you know, little like fist size like pieces of wood or like leather scrap or twine that are just this little like Hansel and Gretel breadcrumb trail down into the mine. If you'd like to.
So what I'm looking for,
So
in addition to just,
I would say that you're pretty busy following the trail. You're doing a really good job of it, but if anyone else would like to kind of just, because you're not trying to track, you just have to follow Javid. For everyone else, if you would like to do more of an investigation check to see if you can identify anything interesting about this section.
Is the ground like mostly stone, or are there soft patches of like mud? You said it's pretty damp, so is anything like turned
It's
to
just
mud or
wet.
anything
It's like
like
slick stone. There are sections where there's this like sheet of lichen that is built up on it, but for the most part, it is.
But can I try to see if there's any like claw marks? Like try to get any kind of heads or tails. Is it just goblin or ogres? Am I looking at anything with more natural weapons or anything like that that's followed this trail? Like claws and stuff.
So if you want to try to figure out if like this section has been worked, then that would be an investigation check. But if you're trying to like track more creatures, then that's a survival check. But Javid's kind of already doing that.
No, I'm not trying to find the direction that they're going. I'm just trying to see if there's any like big claws that have like clawed through the lichen as it was like walking through the tunnels or anything like that.
Gotcha. There is a path. So there's, the kind of a central section. It's the caves that you're like beginning to kind of wind your way through is very like rounded and singular. It's maybe in most spots goes from like a 5 foot wide that would be kind of a squeeze for the ogre up to 10 feet and then kind of back and forth as it kind of constricts and just kind of from a natural flow. You can tell that yes, the lichen and whatnot has not grown in like kind of the center, basically where creatures have been trekking through.
Okay.
I'm gonna be looking for some hidden passages.
All right, go ahead and give me an investigation.
Is there any way that I could possibly just use Wanda to hear and not see, or would I have to do both?
I actually don't know.
I
You
mean,
able to see that?
Saw it in D&D Beyond, but not on the game.
It is an and. So if you would like to, you can basically use your familiar's senses, but you can't just pick one.
Okay, I'll do my normal thing with Briar then. I just feel like she would hear better, and I'm really focusing on if I can hear footsteps or noises, because again, I'm a little paranoid about how well they may know these passages.
All right. After about 45 minutes of these like twists, and as you guys are going, there are like offshoot paths, like a random one here off to the right, and another one squeezing off to the left. But Javid, you're able to you know exactly where the ogre has gone. After about 45 minutes, you come to a dead end. And as the rest of you kind of come up behind, Snow, you note that this is not just a dead end, but it appears to be a deliberately placed obstacle. This was the path. It is no longer.
Well, I think we found the source of the thud from earlier.
The rocks look like a rumble or a recent rock fall.
It's not a rock fall. It is a solid, like, wall of rock.
No, this looks like it was placed here intentionally, but isn't like a collapse.
Well, does it look like me and Briar can move it? Like, do you know what direction it would roll, slide if we could move it?
DM, do I know? Looking for wear marks around the edges.
Do we have any dwarves?
Okay. I would say you can tell that it has been like rolled into position from your left. Essentially, you can see like the scrape marks. It is flush with the wall.
Yeah, it looks like it rolls that way to the left.
Oh.
I mean, you can try to move it, but there's got to be a way to get in.
I'm sure it's on the
In
other
here.
side. I'm sure this is a one-way street for them to be able to block a path. But maybe me
Right,
and
but this is
Briar
a good
can roll
place
it.
for them to have lured us down into a cul-de-sac and then come up behind, popping out from somewhere.
Are there any possible cracks at all that you could possibly see into on the other side?
It is solid. It is.
Onyx could probably make some cracks in it.
I'm
I
gassed.
mean,
I can't do that today.
I could
Yeah.
Misty step over there as long as I can see a little bit of where it is, but I physically cannot move rock.
I mean, Briar and Onyx are quite strong. I mean, we could try to move it.
Do we see any mechanisms that would allow for it to be, at least on this side, rolled back and forth? Lever or something, or does it look like it's just a one-way thing slides into place, that's it?
Snow, you had a 16, correct?
Yes.
Okay. There is not any way that you identify to operate it, nor does it have any holes or other ways for you to see past it.
All
I
right.
don't know.
Let's
But
look for a way around.
Well, why don't we try moving it first?
All right. But are there grips on it? What are we going to?
I'm gonna try to pull one of Briar's
Right.
javelins that she got from the ogre. See if I can't like ram it in the seam as a lever, and then try to roll me and her try to roll the rock the direction Snow tells us.
I'll cast guidance.
what kind of stone is it?
Um, that's a good question. What kind of rocks?
Sandstone, limestone,
Is it
gritty, smooth.
like
It
the
is smooth
same?
and pale. It is. You can tell it's the same type of stone as the rock around you. All right. I guess I have to research rock for the next session to know more.
Yeah.
Why do you not have
its,
a geologist level knowledge?
cleavage? That
It breaks
rhomboidal.
It
Or,
breaks off in big sheets. I think that's one of the like.
yeah, it's basal cleavage.
Yeah, I think it's like close to limestone or something.
Yeah,
Like,
I was thinking
well,
limestone.
no.
Nice.
Micas break and shale break off in sheets. Limestone doesn't fragment. Doesn't have a cleavage.
I don't know rocks. The
It
guy who
looks like
got
a
his
rock.
brain eaten he knew rocks. He was a geologist. So at least the Mind Flayer knows rocks now.
You could check the little journal, but if DM doesn't know, then I guess geologist guy doesn't.
He knows it's just in there. You guys would have to, dig through it.
Oh,
It's like
did
years worth of
the scholars pack include a rock hammer for like chipping off samples?
It did.
No.
Yep.
I got a pickaxe.
You got like a little hammer.
Alright, am I able to like wedge the javelin in there and try to like lever it between me and Briar?
If you and Briar would like to either make independent checks or one of you with advantage, actually, you would have disadvantage to attempt to move it. So giving each other advantage, this would be a straight roll.
And I'm gonna cast guidance on Onyx, so he gets a D4.
Whoever is making the roll, it is with advantage, or is
28.
it does not roll. You are able to move it ever so slightly, and you can tell as you are moving it, you get it about maybe 6 inches. The shape of it is kind of like a large disc that's fitting into a slot. So the circular rock is actually wider than the circumference of the tunnel that you are currently in, and you can move it about 6 or so inches, and then you feel it like stop. There's something on the other side that is physically restraining it.
Getting a Tutankhamun tomb vibes here.
Was it far enough to see into?
Not really. You could certainly try, I guess. You could kind of like, if you like held the light up and he like holds it, Briar and Onyx kind of like hold it into position, you could try to like peek around it. Maybe, if you'd like to do that.
Yeah. At this point, I would like to not be looking through one of his eyes, though. And if I do see, I would like. Ooh, it's gonna be really stupid. If I see like a lever or anything and no people, I want to Misty Step in there.
Okay. Sure.
I'm gonna prepare my next character.
I'm going to move away from the clump and start looking for alternate routes.
All right. Dimitar. With Briar and Onyx holding it into position, you kind of like put the green light of the drift globe and like cast this like little beam of light into the passage beyond. You can tell that there's no light on the other side. You kind of peek through and then just kind of saying the word for Misty Step with just a flash. You find yourself in a dark passageway on the other side.
All right. Can I hear anything on the other side?
Give me a perception check, either you or Wanda.
She's probably still on the other side, so it'll be me.
Did you bring a light with you?
I have a torch.
Torch.
I don't know why it won't roll. My D&D Beyond is not. Well, that's going to make this very difficult. Oh, that's really bad.
Do you want to take a break?
Hold on. Yeah, my... Oh, let me just refresh my found. Alright, I guess Foundry, or the Beyond 20 does not work for me anymore.
It wasn't showing up for me a minute ago either.
Did you refresh the D&D Beyond page?
No, I refreshed all of it.
There we go.
So I'm having to roll manually. Alright. That's really actually super annoying. You do not hear anything on the other side.
Alright, lighten my torch. I'm trying to find a lever or something on this side to possibly move the rock.
Alright. So, what you can see as you approach the rock from the other side, behind you, it opens up into a larger chamber. About 20 or so feet beyond the stone door. On the back of the stone door, there is about an 8-inch thick wooden beam that fits into a slot in the disc of the door. and prevents it from sliding into the wall.
So it sounds like I could remove the beam and then have them move the door.
It does seem like that would be possible, yes. Additionally, on this side of the door, there are multiple large, like, kind of clefts in the rear of the stone where you could fit, like, you know, your hand into it. Basically, big handholds on this side.
Alright, I mean, I'll try to push the door, at least far enough, because I don't know if they can hear me, but,
They're very large handholds. Ogre
okay,
size.
I mean, I'll brace my feet against the wall, and, like, well, I said I was gonna do that. Yeah, so I'm pulling the log out first,
Alright.
obviously, and then, you
The
know.
log is very heavy, but does slide free. It's about 4 feet long, 8 inch in diameter. It is sturdy.
Alright, can you guys hear me?
With us like pushing it after she removes it, can we roll it out of the way?
Go ahead and give me an athletics check. And this is with disadvantage again, just so you know.
You'll have guidance as well.
I've got Briar helping
Yes,
me, so it's a straight roll, right?
Yeah.
I would be helping on my side as well.
$19.
It begins to slide out, and then the javelin kind of like falls away, and it just lets out this echoing thud, falls back into position. It does not come free.
The stone rolled back into position, closing the passage.
Yep, it did not open.
Is that what I understand? Okay.
And that's with all three of us on it.
Well, you can only give yourselves so much advantage.
Oh, no, I know.
You got a 19.
So we can talk to Demetari though, right?
If you really shout.
Because there's handholds. Can you tie a rope to them? Set up a
can
pulley?
I'm gonna. So we can't like talk to her, but I can cast message to her because I know where she's at.
Couldn't she technically look through Wanda's like vision and whatnot?
Yes, I can, but Wanda can't talk.
That's true, but
She
she can
can't
hear.
communicate to us.
So, breathing heavily, I'm gonna cast message to Demetari and tell her the javelin slipped out. We're not gonna be able to open it from this side.
Alright, question, DM. Could I, while seeing through Wanda's eyes, use Mind Link because I can actually see the person?
Hold on. Let's find out. Sure. Why not?
Alright!
It says you can any creature you can see, not within range of yourself, so if you're using something else to see, then sure. Why not?
Cool. So there's these handholds on this side. I'm talking to Onyx because he sent message to me. You're the strongest, right? I'll try to hook something up this way, and if anything, maybe you brace yourself back to the door and put your legs on that side so everyone can slip through. And then, you come in after everyone's in.
I mean, if you think you can rig up something to open it on your side, we're not gonna be able. Me and Briar gave it all we got to get you in there. We're not gonna be able to open it on this side.
Alright, I'll try. So, is there a way I can
What about
tie a...
jamming the beam in to, move a little forward, jam the beam in, lever it that way?
You could certainly try.
Alright, yeah, I'm assuming I hear that through Wanda. So, yeah, I mean, it seems like the beam would be large enough. so I'm going to shove it in the orc, or the ogre handhold and try to lever it that way.
Okay.
And then me and Briar doing whatever we can on the outside, just trying to get the javelin back in, but I doubt we're doing much. Because at this point, we have separated the squishy from everybody else.
Could you technically Misty Step again? Back?
Technically I could if I rested for a long time.
How big is this passageway?
Here it's about 6 or 7 feet, maybe. It's wide enough for one of you to kind of stand comfortably.
Can I? So I want to look at Casimir and just kind of like very creepily stare at him and just be like, can you do anything?
I'm afraid this is not anything I participate in. Actually, let me see if you can do anything.
Javid, did you find any other ways around here?
Did I?
I don't know, I'm asking.
I'm asking.
He says, I can do this. And then he casts mage armor on himself. You see this like shimmering glow of like plate armor form around him, and he's like, what? Just in case.
Let's
I'm just
throw
gonna
him
like
at the door.
Yeah, just put up my hands. Just be like,
I'm gonna take out my pick and hit the dead center of it and see if it chips away at all.
Go ahead and give me an athletics check, or whatever check you use with your pick. I guess it's an attack roll. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
With what? What are the,
Be strength plus proficiency.
Are you proficient in it?
Yes, I am an archaeologist.
Alright, very well.
Let's see here. What'd you say, strength and proficiency?
If you're proficient, yep.
14.
Alright, he just kind of glances off and you see, like, you know, just a small, like, pebble falls off of it. You leave a little, like, half-inch
Little
scrape.
spall.
Yeah.
Onyx, try casting magic missile on the door, and I'll back up.
I don't have
Any spells?
the gas.
No spell slots? Alright, well, I'm gonna start picking at the very corner of where the door meets with the wall.
So you guys did say you wanted to try and wedge it again, so if you'd like to go ahead, you can try that again.
yeah, because I thought Demetari was gonna set up some type of like pulley leverage system, and then we were
she's
gonna
trying to
push.
lever it, so like, I imagine you want to like, if he can move it, you can kind of wedge it so it won't close again, and like even if you let go, it'll still be stuck. Basically, is kind of what I'm picturing you doing.
So am I making
Right,
the check
a little
again?
bit of javelin
Wouldn't it be
leverage
Demetari
and
with like
beam
an in
leverage.
check
And,
or something to like try to come up with the creative pulley system?
While they're doing that, I'm gonna work in the very corner so we can actually like set the javelin in a little bit better.
Okay. Nice. Go ahead and make an attack roll. Alright, you're making very little progress. Just kind of chipping lightly in the corner. You're making a lot of rolls. But, anyway.
I'm swinging a lot.
Well, sure. You got a 10 and a 3, that's what I'm saying you got. Making little progress.
All right. So who's making the check?
What kind of check will it be?
It is
Strength?
going to be a strength check.
Wouldn't she get something like Demetari trying to like intelligence to like come up with a creative and good pulley system? Like that in and of itself isn't strength, that's intelligence and coming up with a good system, right? Like, you know, tools.
I don't know how you would do that. It is, you know, just kind of a cave tube, pretty much.
So I have an idea.
Okay.
As I am trying to lever this, if I can cast magic missile in the direction that the wheel is supposed to turn, I'm hoping the force of that will add to the strength, and just push it the way it needs to go. That's what I got.
Alright, are we giving the DM a headache?
Seems like
Oh
it.
yeah.
I would say that you would know that magic missile does not impart enough force to make any kind of meaningful contribution in that way. Like when you hit someone with magic missile, they don't get knocked back. They just get like punched. It's not going to help. It would not help you move a multi-hundred-pound boulder, basically.
What we do, though, we do have, like you said, there's that large beam that was holding her, right? Can't she take that and, like, lodge it under and then, like, tie a rope and then take that rope and kind of, like, put it into some type of system, like, tie it off so that way it's, like, kind of, like, leveraging it up. So it's
That's
not her own strength. She's trying to, like, tie it to something else so it kind of pulls it up. Like, I'm sure there's something, like maybe a large rock or something that she can kind of use to leverage this beam, because that's the whole point of tools, right? Is to not have to have your own strength.
What kind of tools do you have, Dimitari?
I
Just everyone.
have mortician's tools.
All right, go ahead and give
and
me
disguise it.
go ahead and give me an intelligence check, and we'll see what that gets you.
Did we see any dynamite or anything on our way through here?
No, I've been looking for it the whole time.
This is a pre-dynamite dig. This is an old-fashioned type of job that the dwarves did here. All right. I'll say that with some clever tie-offs with the rope and a couple of protruding rocks kind of on the opposite side of where you want it to be, you could set a mechanism to where with just some light pulling you can kind of oppose the roll of the stone and kind of act as a catch almost is what I'll call it. So the stone, you'll be able to move it into a position and the stone won't immediately fall back into its cradle.
Hurry, guys! Hurry! I don't know how long I can keep this up.
Alright, so go ahead and roll with it, advantage, and then add the guidance that I believe you have. Alright. Groaning,
27.
Groaning and straining, you begin rolling the stone out of position into its kind of cradle off to the side. It is like loud and echoing through the chambers beyond. And like it kind of slams into position. The like wooden beam that you're using to wedge like falls away. And you can see that it kind of like, you have to like lift it up almost and into this like cradle in the wall that there's like just enough handhold poking out on the other side where you can kind of reach in and then slide it into position. Is most likely how it's operated. And hold on.
This entire mechanism seems like piss poor planning, because what if you don't have ogres to move this in place?
It's a good thing I'm wearing a battle skirt, because I definitely would have pooped putting that much effort into it.
Yeah, your veins are like bulging, protruding. There's like your muscles are full and you've gotten your workout in. And as soon as you guys look at
Right.
Dimitari,
Roll for an aneurysm.
Dimitari, I need you to make a strength saving throw. And you feel this like pressure on your back, and it just yanks you out of the way and into the dark. And the rest of you see just Dimitari disappear. I need everyone to roll for initiative.
Well, she was nice. I liked her.
Further into the into the chamber of darkness?
Alright, hold on. Hold on. Don't roll yet, because if you guys roll before I actually create an encounter, your rolls don't exist, apparently.
You said the words.
You said make rolls.
It's really annoying that that's how this works.
The magic rock could go clack clack.
Can we roll now?
Yes.
How about
So
now?
you click on yourself.
So we just see Demetari just disappear.
Just
like
disappear.
we're looking at her and she's gone.
She's like, all of a sudden she's just sliding backwards into the dark.
Is she making noise
Oh,
or
yeah,
is it like
you can scream all you want.
Oh yeah, no, I'm screaming.
I want my original roll, damn it.
My lit torch though is up near the door, so I mean you can kind of see a little bit. I definitely left it behind.
Yeah, but you don't have dark vision, so you're like completely in the dark.
I sure am.
Oh, just getting drug on the ground, watching the light disappear as you're fading from it,
That's terrifying.
ripping out your fingernails, trying to get a hold on something. Nope, absolutely not. Nope.
Who's rolling for Rar?
Chris, Emily designated you as a Jaeger.
Yeah, I got it. Hold on.
Make the flump come back. Splody squids are always good to have in these situations.
Well, it's a D6, right? There are other things than floaty squids.
No.
The
We need
floaty
the
squids
floaty squid.
win.
We like the floaty squids to go foomp.
Oh my god. This, like, not being able to roll from D&D Beyond is actually killing.
It might be
Is
the
it that you
alcohol,
just need
too.
to like re-download it? Did it just straight up stop working?
It's, like, on there, and, like, I can do, shift, and it shows up like it's trying to roll with advantage.
Is it activated on your forged? Like if you go to your forged, is it also activated on that side? So if you go to where you have your forged on your browser, is it activated on that screen? Because sometimes it needs to be activated on both. Sometimes it'll like disconnect. Am I making sense?
Also, if you could give me control on Briars, because I can't roll for her in the initiative tracker, because I can't select her.
There we go.
So it's working now?
No, I can do it in Foundry, but... Alright. We're gonna put up with it. This is a real problem that if we don't fix, we're going back to roll 20. It's very annoying.
You might
It's
just need to
very annoying.
re-download it.
When's the last time you restarted your computer?
This morning. I turned it on like 2 hours ago. Anyway.
Far too long.
Oh my god.
Agreed.
Alright. As soon as you stop moving, Demetari, something sharp just like jabs you in the back, and you take 6 points of slashing damage. I guess, did you drag the torch with you?
No, in my mind, I would have like sat it somewhere, leaned it
Yeah.
against a wall while I pulled. So no,
That
I
makes
probably
sense.
don't have the torch.
Okay, hold on. Let me draw. Alright. Here's the torch. Javid, it is your turn.
All right. Sort of seems like I was around the corner when all this
You would have
happened.
heard a scream, or you would have heard the shutting, like the opening of the door, and then a scream.
Right. Yeah, and I probably would have been looking the other way to make sure we weren't getting bushwhacked from the backside.
Yeah, I concur.
So I'm going to move to where I can see down the hallway. But I can't move myself. And looking down.
I should also note, Demetari, you are grappled.
Cool. Can I, like, I don't feel anything, right? As far as I'm aware, I'm, like, tangled in the own rope that I fashioned.
You would have
Or can I
let
tell?
go of that rope for sure.
Okay, so I know something has grabbed me.
Yeah, because you don't have dark vision. You're just like in darkness, and something is attacking you.
All right. Well, I move and I still don't see anything. So, damn. The purple.
That's where the door was.
Is where the door was, and I'm looking 60 feet beyond that, and I still don't see any.
You're sorry. How far are you looking? Yeah, you can't see anything. If your vision is correct, if your token vision is correct, then yeah, you can't
what I'm
see
understanding. Sorry, broke up. You said I don't see anything?
No.
So Demetari got dragged to the left, correct?
Yes.
Well, shit. I'm gonna dash then. Which gives me another 3. Well, let's see. No, I've got 2 more feet of movement. And still don't see anything, so yep, I'm gonna dash.
All right, you would be able to see now. Standing over her is this like Great Dane-sized pale scorpion thing. It has this like sticky filament protruding from its mouth that is like kind of snaked itself around Demetari's like upper back. Oh, I can't show you because it can't display in VTT. But yes, it is this like pale scorpion creature.
All right, well, that seems like a very dangerous thing, so I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark on it with my remaining thing, bonus action. Which obviously is not actually doing damage because I just... But it's cast.
Cool. Do you tell anybody else what you see?
It's a fishing thing!
I mean, you would probably know what it is. You know it's a cave fisher. You've been in the Underdark before.
It's a cave fishing thing!
Oh, what?
Cave fishing thing. Fishes in the caves.
Would anyone who has not been to the Underdark know what that is?
If you want to try to make a nature check.
Can I do that for free?
Sure. It doesn't really take any extra. Nope, never heard of it. Alright. That the end of your turn, Javid. Then, Dimitar, it's your turn. You are grappled by the cave fisher.
That's a cool term. What does that mean for me?
Can't move. Yeah, that's basically it. You can do things, you just can't move. You can try to break.
Okay, but that takes my entire action.
Yes, it would take your action in an attempt to break free. What you
Okay.
can, I guess you can't really see. You can't see anything, but you can kind of feel it on yourself. That's this like
Alright.
sticky webbing, basically, that is like kind of tangled you up.
So I don't know exactly how this works, but I'd like to cast Burning Hands towards where the feeling is of this creature. That
Yeah,
would
you can
help
do
me
that.
see it,
You don't
and
need
then
to
maybe I can break free from it, I guess. Yeah, I know, but like the fire would let me see what's going on, right?
maybe for like a second.
Yeah, I just want to know what it is. That's a dex save. 15.
For half damage.
Yeah, if he saved, it would be half damage. Looks like I rolled twice, so 4 whole points.
Alright, with a brief, like, you can't really tell where you're supposed to be pointing, and you just kind of, like, shoot your hands out backwards towards where the, like, scratching came from. And for a brief moment, it illuminates this creature and kind of, like, grazes off the side of it. And yeah, you can see it is this... It's big relative to you. It's medium-sized, but for a scaly-looking manfish thing, this thing is very large. And you just kind of lightly singe it.
Okay, so I'm assuming it was low enough to where I couldn't pull away, correct?
Well, you have to spend your action to break free from a grapple.
Okay, I understand. Alright,
So you just
well
used your
that's...
action for the burning hands, but you'd
Right.
have to, next turn, actually try to physically, like, get it off yourself.
Okay, I see. Alright, yeah, no, I'm done then.
Alright. Snow, it is your turn.
Alright. Yep, I'm going to use feline agility to run up next to Javid. And can I see it?
Nope.
Damn.
It's just beyond your vision.
I'm
Alright,
gibbering
well-
and pointing in that direction.
Well, I'm going to bonus action and dash.
Nice.
And, yeah. And I'm going to shoot an arrow at it.
That hits. Roll damage.
Woo!
Ooh, fine. A lot of things apparently have changed in my foundry because the creatures no longer display their hit points, which does not help me at all.
Did they reset all the settings after the update? Because didn't you say last time there was like some kind of
They were
update
working
that like
last session. All this stuff. I didn't have any of these issues last session after the thing. Anyway, that hits. 14.
Woo.
Alright. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Okay, Azrael, it's your turn.
So I'm gonna step of the wind, which allows me to move, movement plus a dash, which would be 90 feet. And then so it looks like I probably see it.
Most likely, yep.
All right, so then I'm just gonna toll the dead because that's the best I can do. Oh, quick question. When I was running by the torch, could I have picked it up?
Sure.
Okay, so the torch is now in my hand. And then with my, because I still don't have my weapon out, it's shielded right now. So I'm going to cast Toll the Dead on this very scary looking thing. And that's a DC 14 whiz.
It does not seem to notice.
All right, that's the end of my turn.
Onyx, it's your turn.
I'm running. That's a dash. That's all I got.
As you enter the room, you suddenly note that your feet tangle with something sticky dragging across the ground.
Is this Onyx?
Yeah.
Oh shit, we found a nest of them.
Briar's turn.
Yeah. She's going to dash as well. Move up as close as she can.
How much movement is she?
30 plus 30, so 60. Her flying speed is the same as her walking, right?
Yeah. Alright. That was an action bonus. Was at the end of her turn. Alright.
So is something actually dragging Onyx away, or did he just step in sticky shit?
He stepped in sticky shit.
Okay, no, yeah, that's the end of her turn for now.
Okay.
Is that difficult terrain? Like, does it look like difficult terrain?
We'll see in a second. Alright. Alright.
That's too many rolls. I just,
Okay. The cave fissure that is looming next to Demetari takes 2 quick swipes with its claws. Both of them connect for a total of would be 18 slashing damage. She looks good. Addition, Onyx. I need you to make a strength saving throw. Actually, how much do you weigh?
Right now, around 380
Alright,
with all the gear that I have on.
never mind. Alright, you feel the sticky substance that you have trucked through suddenly goes taut for a second and then snaps and kind of like furls up, and in the you see another one of those creatures. And it kind of begins readying another filament. It's actually going to... I'm just kind of roll further away. Okay. Javid, it's your turn.
Right. So I'm going to use sharpshooter to try to hit the one that's got a hold of Demetari.
Okay.
And I will fire at it.
That hits.
So that'll be 18 of damage plus... Where plus the hunter's mark
Roll
for a
down.
total of 22.
What?
22.
12.
12. You're getting 22 for...
For
Longbow
minus
damage?
5 on... What?
I see 22 under his longbow.
Yeah, I do
Right.
too.
That's the attack roll.
The attack was 22 minus 5,
Oh. You added 10. Got it.
and I'm adding 10 for sharpshooter.
Okay, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Sorry, that's...
Alright, you sink the shot into the cave fissure. The arrow like embeds itself in its carapace. And it kind of like lets out a squeal and begins to like leak fluids out of its armor.
And that is the extent of what I'm going to do.
Okay. Demetari, it's your turn. You are still grappled.
While it's distracted, I'm going to try to not be grappled.
Alright, go ahead and give me a strength check. You just kind of like twist yourself up in the stickiness and like it gets in your hair and like wraps you up a little bit worse. Unfortunately, you do not break free.
I'm done. Yep.
All right. Snow, it's your turn.
Alright, going to use insightful fighting against it. So that's versus its deception.
Are there any rules about that? Because it does not have...
Deception capabilities?
Well,
It just says, as a bonus act. Nope, sorry, that's the wrong one. As a bonus action, you can make an insight check against a creature you can see that isn't incapacitated, contested by the target's deception check. If you succeed, you can use your sneak attack against the target, even if you don't have advantage on the attack roll, but not if you have a disadvantage for 1 minute or until you use the feature again on a different target.
Well, it has a -4, so it succeeds. You know what it is about to do and how it is about to move.
Hell yeah. I'm going to shoot an arrow at it.
That hits. Roll damage. You'd like sink it into its mouth, and the creature just kind of thuds to the ground next to you, Dimitar. It is dead.
Sweet. I'm going to move up to the corner, and that'll be the end of my turn.
Ezreal, it's your turn.
So I saw the sticky stuff on the ground. So I'm gonna run over and like run along the wall over here. And so now I see this thing. And so then I'm going to toll the dead that thing.
Alright. It kind of like lets out a squeal, and you can see it begins kind of like backing up along the wall towards this.
Alright, well that's the end of my turn. I'm just kind of standing on the wall.
Alright. Onyx, it's your turn.
Alright, so I would assume that I still have the javelin that I was using to pry open the door.
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna run up towards him and yeet.
Okay. You kind of like crack the javelin towards it, and it just like scrapes off of its hide and embeds itself in the rock behind it. And the creature kind of like twists, and you can see it start to like unfurl another one of its like sticky tendrils.
That's fine. As a free action, I'm gonna pull my long sword, and that ends my turn.
Okay. It is Briar's turn.
Where'd Chris come?
That's a good question.
Chris here. Sorry, I'm taking care of a sickie.
I accidentally ordered 2 burritos today, so look at me go.
Fat ass.
Accidentally.
What kind of burritos?
Alright, well, she's gonna fly at it and try to hit it with her battle axe. Dash at it as well.
Okay. I don't know if she's gonna be able to get that far. Guess she. So she cannot see it. The cave fissure is in darkness. For the rest of you, it's dim light, which only imposes the disadvantage, but for her, it is invisible. She doesn't know where it is.
She has a globe on her back.
Oh, that's right. She is dragging light along with her. Fuck. All right. Never mind. She can see it. Look, it's right there. She dashed right up to it.
She's gonna try to hit it with her battle axe. I can't roll for her.
She wouldn't be able to get to it. 60 feet is action and movement.
No.
You're thinking
Alright,
of
well, then not
yourself,
that close.
though,
Yeah.
with the cunning action. Cunning rogue, you.
Been a
Yeah,
long
she
time
could
since I
throw a
played the
javelin. I
barbarian.
know she has javelin, so like if you move her
Yeah.
back 30
If
feet, she
she,
can throw.
yeah, if she can't move that far, she's gonna do that.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
It's very silly to go up to an enemy and not be able to do anything. I can't. It won't let me roll from her page.
Oh, let's see if I can do it. Nope, I can't.
I can.
She just kind of like whips it into the darkness, and it as well like barely misses it, like embedding itself between some of its legs.
That would be the end of the turn.
All right. The cave fisher. He's gonna move back. And he's kind of like moving backwards up the ceiling. And he is going to launch another one of his extrusions towards you, Onyx. You are similarly grappled. He just like sticks to your chest in this like kind of like silly string, but it's, you know, very sticky. David, it's your turn.
Alright. I can't see anything from here, so I'm going to move and then move a bit more. And then move my hex blade onto the other cave fisher with my bonus action. That's it for me.
Okay. Okay. Demetari, it's your turn. You're no longer grappled. You can kind of like peel it off yourself now.
As a free action, I'd like to turn around and kick the dead thing.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And then I would like to...
Does it have a carapace or is it squishy?
It's hard.
Oh yeah, I probably stubbed my toe a little bit, but it was worth it.
Maybe crack the shell a bit.
Yeah.
I am going to be hopefully not super dumb and move here. And I would like to cast Wither and Bloom. Let me make sure my range is correct. Yeah, okay, so I want to cast that circle here. So that I can regain hit points. And it is a con save of 15 for the scorpion thing.
Sure. Alright, he failed.
So 7 necrotic damage, and then I am going to spend one of my hit dice. And that will end my turn.
Alright. Snow, it's your turn.
Alright. I'm going to use steady aim and shoot at it.
That hits.
And that will be all for my turn.
Alright. Azrael, it's your
So I'm gonna. How tall is the ceiling?
15 feet.
So I'm gonna just run along the ceiling.
Alright, so kind of just sprint along the ceiling.
And with a better view up here, can I see any other, like, does it look like there's any other
Not
things?
that you notice. If you want to spend your
Okay.
entire action on a perception check, then you could.
Alright. Alright, well that's the end of my turn.
Alright, he fails. You see it kind of like hisses and like kind of like draws itself up again. It is getting ready to furl its sticky tendril that is attached to Onyx. Onyx is your turn.
I want to drive my heels in and try to grab the sticky filament and pull him towards me.
Sure, go ahead and give me an give me an athletics check.
I click the button. It'll show up here eventually. It's probably going to be a 10. Heh.
How'd you know?
Because RNGesus hates me right now. My dice aren't actually rolling in D&D Beyond.
You're just getting a bunch of 10s. I don't know what that is about. Like literally all your rolls are 10.
Might need to reset it. It's like last weekend when we were all getting 4s.
Weird. Okay. You kind of like begin to yank and it like fights you for a second, but you can tell that it's hard to get like a good handhold on it. It does begin to strain, and it doesn't look like it'll put up with very much more of it.
Okay.
All right, it is Briar's turn. She's just a little bit too far from the cave fissure to move up to it.
So she's gonna fly out to the left and javelin it. Air try.
Okay. Alright, go ahead and roll Briar's javelin.
Crystal, would you mind? Seems like
Yeah,
you're the only
sure.
one who can. So maybe you should just control her.
Oop.
I don't know if I can move her token, but I can roll from D&D Beyond.
Damn, was that a gnat?
There's a nat 20.
Yep.
Nice.
Didn't do a lot. Total of 8 damage, which is 1 above the minimum.
Yeah, real sad.
Alright. The javelin through the air and like connects with it again and like just like pierces into its carapace, and you can see it like begins to bleed. Alright. I believe that is the end of Briar's turn. The cave fisher is going to skitter along the ceiling this direction, dropping the filament it had on Onyx, and it is going to unfurl another filament on Briar. Just like launches towards her, sticks into her. Yeah. Javid, this is your turn.
All right. Well, I will use sharpshooter again.
I don't think you can see this from where you are currently.
Yeah, pretty sure. 90.
You're like,
Briar's within 40 feet, so the light is getting to it.
yeah, well, you're like around the corner.
What do you mean it's around the corner?
No, I can see it.
You've
It's right here.
Yeah, because
Where do you think
Briar
your token
has
is?
a light and it's within 40 feet of Briar, right?
Where do you see your token?
Me?
Yes. Alright, well, that's not where your token
Right there.
is on my screen. Your token
That's
is,
that's where my
Your
token
computer
is on
is
my
broken.
screen.
that's where your token is on mine.
Yeah, I think there's something up with your forge, Liam.
It's busted.
Okay.
We're gonna stop after this fight because I literally cannot play.
Oh no, I don't want to.
Well, I've got line of sight on him, and
Okay,
I'm gonna
I get it. Fine.
shoot him.
Go for it. It misses.
What? How do you know?
I see that you rolled a 5.
That
Your
was
screen's
sharpshooter.
wrong. That was actually a 25. I don't know what's going on with your screen.
Uh-huh.
That's not right.
And you rolled a 10 minus 5. I see it.
That was D&D Beyond doing something funny. I don't get a -5 for on a D20.
From sharpshooter?
Yeah, you do for
Well-
sharpshooter.
-5, but I've got a plus something to.
Oh. Is it 11? Do you have a plus 11?
All right, that misses. That was a 9.
Yeah. So you have a net plus 3. So you're with the -5. So your original roll would have been 13, which still misses.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I see what you meant now. Alright. Would you like to move?
D&D Beyond doesn't handle the sharpshooter right. No, I'm happy where I am.
Timitari, it's your turn.
He's looking really hurt.
Badly injured. Yep. He's got a javelin sticking into him, and you can see, like, this, like, kind of like scarring, scorching running along the surface of the, his, like, arm.
Alright, I'm gonna cast Ice Knife on him.
He has to make a dex save, correct?
No, that's an attack roll.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. That misses. You just, like, launch the ice, and it, like, sticks into the wall adjacent to him.
Okay, can I do Seeking Spell so I can re-roll?
Actually, Casimir's going to use his reaction to allow you to re-roll that.
Holy
Alright.
shit, Casimir's doing something?
Yes.
Let's see.
There you go. That hits.
Okay, cool.
Welcome to the fight, Big K.
He's just standing in the back.
I give him a pat on his little gnomish head.
He's not a gnome.
I don't know. I envision him as like a tiny fat gnome.
Yeah, I've kind of been picturing him as a chubby little.
He's a skinny, tall human.
Okay.
Can we just like retroactively say that he's a short fat
You guys
gnome?
just have like a weird body image issues for him. Weird. Okay. So he needs to make a dex save.
Let me double check here. I think it just hang on, wait. Yeah, dex save 15.
Alright. It like pierces into him and he kind of shields himself and it like explodes off of him away. And you note that it does not deal very much damage.
Alright, that's it for me.
Snow, it's your turn.
Alright. I'm going to move up next to Azrael and use Insightful Fight.
Well, I am hanging off the ceiling.
Alright, I am under Azrael using Insightful Fighting.
Alright.
How much you narrow it?
Alright, you got a 1.
Sweet. 16 hit.
It does hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Alright, and then I'm going to use Piercer to re-roll that 1.
Go for it.
So it would be 8 instead of 6.
So it deals 2 more damage.
Yes.
Well, conveniently, it sticks into its head, and the creature goes limp, and then splashes into the water. It had 2 hit points if you hadn't re-rolled that.
Convenient.
Alright. And you're out of initiative.
What were those? Oh, David's not here.
Yes. He apparently took this
Fucking terrible. That's
Fisher
what
cave
they were.
thingies!
Yeah, I've seen these before. They suck.
I actually think they spit.
What I don't understand is why
They
they
spit
weren't
and then
able to.
suck.
What I don't understand is why that one wasn't able to pull me in like Demetari.
Well, you're like
You
a
weigh
dump
Yeah,
truck.
significantly
you're
more
kind of
than me.
beefy, man.
You tick.
I'm tick, and I'm also carrying like 200 pounds worth of gear on me.
I'm surprised that you weren't able to drag it back toward you.
Yeah,
Should
for
have been able
some
to.
couldn't grab a good handhold, just kept sliding down.
That slimy pseudopod thing.
Do they work with Mind Flayers?
Did
Yeah,
anyone
they
notice
look
any
like they've
glowing?
been enhanced anyway.
Go ahead and give me, I guess, an Arcana check.
Javid, do you know if we can harvest anything useful off of them? Like, are they poisonous or anything that we could take from them?
Do I know that?
Ooh, you might. Go ahead and give me a nature check. So you guys wouldn't have been able to tell. They weren't like glowing, or they didn't have any other things to them. That you got the impression that these they're animals, and especially Javid, you would know that they're just simple animals. They hunt for food, and they likely attacked Dimitari because she was alone and she looked like a easy target, basically. And they just suddenly it wasn't just Dimitari anymore. It was a group of 6 actual adventurers.
Oh, they just saw her and was like, "Ooh, piece of candy."
Oh, piece of candy, and then they got kicked, by some tough adventurers. What you would
Yeah.
know, Javid, since you have most assuredly they are endemic to the
Underdark?
the Underdark, yes, is that both their filament, so they have a gland that produces the filament in large quantities, is pretty useful. You can use it for all kinds of things as well. Their blood is flammable.
Ooh, that's huge. So with my brewing background and everything, I should have like 4 or 5 empty vials. Is there any way I can like fill a couple, like basically make fire flasks?
All right, can I harvest?
Yeah, I would
We
say
should take
Also,
Demetari with you. She's got a deft hand.
also, what kind of flammable are we talking? Are we talking like burns like tallow or like explodes like exploding
Yeah,
thingies?
probably
are
burns
we
like
more?
hell. They don't explode, but if
Okay.
you light them on fire, they'll stay on fire, basically.
Okay, so like low level Molotov cocktails.
How
Not looking,
viscous is
not
this
like a
blood?
not like a poof, but like if it catches, it'll stay lit.
Their blood is of normal viscosity.
Nice.
Javid, will you show me where these things are and I could possibly remove them? And I'll
Right, yeah, so
gleefully pull out my mortician's tools. Let's
we'll
go to
wade
that
out
one
into the
first, and we'll
pool
go
and
to the one that
drag
on me.
the one in from the pool, and we start to do a little necropsy, harvest the filament glands, and drain some blood into some vials.
When Javi goes into the water, does it look like normal water or does it react differently?
Give me a perception check.
So I wanna catch a couple of vials of blood and then see if we can't get any like. Is it like that mushy crab scorpion meat, or is it like dense meat that we could possibly eat later?
It's like squishy crab meat.
Oh
The
yeah.
water looks normal. It's
You gotta
it's
boil
about,
it.
it's mid calf, just a simple pool of stagnant water. What you no. That's about what you can tell is just a simple pool of water.
Bless you.
You guys drag the two
Oh shit!
carcasses
Sorry.
back to ground and begin kind of taking them apart. So who is collecting things from the cave fissures?
I'm gonna get some blood.
Okay. What? Go ahead and use
Javid will.
what's your tool proficiency?
Yeah, so I got a brewer's kit, but it doesn't have like a set stat that it goes off of. I just have proficiency on it.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a nature.
I'm going to see how many arrows I can collect.
How many did you shoot?
5.
Go ahead and roll a d5. Or a d10, I guess we'll say.
I'm gonna say, is there a new dice that I don't know
You
about?
can. Like, you can force the game engine to roll other things.
Like a number generator rather
Well,
than
if you
dice.
just type /R 1D whatever, so
Yeah.
you can do it. You'd be able to get 2 arrows back.
Okay.
Onyx. Is that with your proficiency bonus? So would it be like a 15 probably? At least a 15. I'll say you're able to fill 2 vials of the flammable blood.
He's having some mic difficulties.
We seem to be having a lot of difficulty. Alright, and who is, what were the other group collecting from them? So we've got one guy collecting blood.
The filament glands.
Gotcha, you're going to try to dissect the filament glands. So if you would like to have Dimitar make the check with her mortician's tool, and you can make it with advantage because Javid is telling you where the glands are. So you're not looking for them.
So, what? So I know that I would add my. So would I add my proficiency bonus to that with advantage, or?
I mean, you're proficient with it, right?
Yeah, with mortician's tools.
Yes.
What would I be rolling as a base stat?
Did we ever figure that out? I actually don't remember.
I don't think we have. And if we did, I do not remember either.
Let's look at our online house mortician's tools. Oh, it's blank. Okay.
There it is.
You could say
Acrobatics? I don't know.
Dex
Wouldn't
to
it be
see
like
how
Dex?
Yeah.
handy
Because
she
she's
is
trying to like carve.
with a knife or
We'll
something,
say
or
that the skill that you use
medicine
for it
to see how
is
well she can-
dexterity, and it's a dexterity medicine with your proficiency bonus. So
Okay, so I would choose whichever one's higher in that case.
no, so it's dexterity, and if you're proficient, yeah. So yeah, it's a dexterity with mortician's tools. So the mortician's tools allows you to add your proficiency bonus to it. So you're at whatever that is, +4. Plus another 2, so you get a 19.
And I would also, while I am dissecting, I am just looking for any other cool things about this thing I haven't seen before. Just like morbid curiosity, I guess, and seeing if there's something else that could be useful or just something to note.
Sure. Sorry, I just wanted to write that down so that we just have that for next time. All right. You are able to remove the 2 filament glands from the cave fissures. What are the rest of you guys doing? So Azriel and Snow and Brian.
So I have Demetari's torch still, so I'm gonna just keep holding on to it and just kind of walk around, just looking for signs or listening for signs of ogres or any other hostiles while they're attacking or while they're harvesting.
I'm going to look up from the cave fisher and call out to Azrael. See if you can figure out how the ogre got past these guys. He came this way, yes?
Ogres are bigger than Onyx, and they couldn't attack Onyx.
Are they that smart? I don't know.
We didn't think ogres were that smart either. If they're a predatory animal, they probably know what they can and can't go after.
Fair enough. Yep, definitely.
Like,
I'm
do
gonna
we
lean
see?
up from what I'm doing and say, I take offense to that.
Do we
For
see
what, being a
signs of like
predator?
the ogres the wooden stuff? Like, is that still on the ground?
All right. If you would like, go ahead and give me an investigation check if you're kind of searching the area.
Can I do perception? Slightly higher.
What are you looking for?
I'm more looking for like just signs of hostiles, and then whether or not the ogres came through here.
Well, signs that the ogres came through here is going to be survival. And looking for signs of other creatures is probably going to be more investigation, like trying to find stuff.
All right, I'll just do investigation.
Alright. What you're able to find in this area as you kind of like pick through the edge of the pool of water and some of the other things around here, like picking up stones and stuff, you do find small pieces of rope refuse that's been dropped. But as well, you note a couple of old bones from small, roughly humanoid shaped at the edge of the tide pool.
What was the last again? Find what?
Some humanoid shaped bones.
Like Dorvern.
Hard to say. You find some
I'm
bones.
gonna pick them up, and take them over to Demetari, and say, "You know death," and like kind of like hand them to her.
I'm done with what I was searching for, right? Like, I'm not still currently digging through bodies.
This is kind of while you're trying to dissect the cave fissure.
I'm gonna keep my hands in the bodies, I guess, like, while I was searching, and then just kind of look at them and see if I can tell.
You can try to give me a medicine check. Couldn't tell you. Could be a child's bones. They're kind of small.
No idea. I don't recall seeing anything like this. Could be a kid. Could not be. And I'll just like look back into my cave fisher.
You cut its face open and you're like peeling apart like chunks of it and like taking its mandibles out.
And if this is the one that like tried to do me in, I am having a grand old time at it.
Definitely.
And in between pointing out things for Demetari, I'm picking out bits of meat and having a little snack.
Okay. It does not taste.
How many vials did you say I got?
You would have gotten, I think I said 2.
Yeah, 2.
What color is the blood, by the way?
Milky white. Its meat is similarly milky white. It is kind of like a crab meat, basically. I believe these things are technically spiders or arachnids, I should say, but it's close enough to a crab.
Did I find anything else worth noting or that I might want to pocket?
Nope. They are simple creatures. They're just animals they eat.
Has anyone toured the cave to see if maybe we could rest here? Can always put the boulder back. They don't expect us to be in here, I would assume. As long as there's no other entrances, or at least smaller ones that we could guard.
Little just to roll the door back because that would block our retreat if we needed to.
Just keep it open in case we need to run.
Okay, I just looking around and looking down on myself, I definitely think that we would benefit from a longer rest.
It's too dangerous.
We'll be dead if we keep going without resting.
I think we're gonna need to take a rest.
Do we need to spend an hour here, sort of lick our wounds?
Well, I think Demetri was referring to a long rest.
Well, yeah, but if we can get by with a little bit of a break, of course, I realize we just had a short rest about an hour ago.
Yeah,
Look at Onyx. Onyx, how many spells can you cast for the rest of the day?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
I've got 2 left, and they're low level.
I mean,
And
we are
I
just
think
trying to
Briar.
get to the Underdark.
Right, but
And what
there is
happens
definitely.
once we get there?
And we find a Mind Flayer.
We turn around and leave.
Leave through the enemies again? Do you expect to rest in the Underdark?
So you want to leave and then come back? Because we're going to be in the same position when we come back.
I'm thinking we
What
just
I'm
dig in
saying is
here.
we should look around, see where the other ways out of this room is, guard those, take shifts, and rest for a moment. I don't think they'll expect us to be here, considering they deliberately chose to block off one of the entrances, and hopefully they chose to do that to the other sides as well, to block any exit into this room. But I think it's worth exploring, because we're spent, and I don't think it's a smart move to keep going, not knowing what we're about to face.
The risk of ambush is very high.
The risk of death is also very high.
The concern is if we take a long rest, if we take a rest until we finish that rest, we are still in the same position. So if we get ambushed, we are even more at a disadvantage as we are still spent and we are surprised.
Would we be surprised if we were taking turns scouting for a potential ambush? I mean,
Depends
surely there's
on
with
the
limited
watcher.
entrances, we'll be able to figure it out. I'm just saying, we didn't expect this to happen. It happened. I just got thrown, sucked in by a scorpion thing, and if it wasn't for Snow, I'd be dead. So
What
my vote
happens
is
if
to
you're
rest.
asleep and that happens? What if the watcher doesn't notice and you're asleep and you get taken?
There's a lot of what ifs we can do. You know my stance on it. If anyone else wants to have an input on the matter, but I'm not. This is what I think.
As you were discussing this, Azrael, out of the corner of your eye, you notice something shiny at the far end of the tide pool.
I'll put my finger up to Demetari and kind of walk away and go towards the shiny.
It is in the water, all the way on the far side.
Okay, so I'll go up the ceiling and then down so I can avoid being in the water as much as possible.
Careful, it might be a gelatinous cube.
Kind of, as you get closer, you can see it appears to be this like green reflective, just like ever so slightly underneath some rocks, about a couple inches below the waterline.
So I will take out my sai and kind of poke at it and see if it reacts.
Your sai, as you poke it, you kind of like ting ting. It is
Does it
hard
move?
and metallic. It does not move.
I grab it.
All right. Go ahead and give me an athletics check. You kind of have to like wedge your fingers into it and pull it free. And the rock around it is kind of like weak and just kind of like crumbles and like flakes away. And you pull it out, and it is about a roughly brick-sized brass and glass object. It has like twisting metal running the length of it. It's like almost a cylinder, but with like sharp edges.
Does it look like anything I have seen before?
Make an Arcana check. Well, you haven't seen it before, but this looks definitely, to you at the very least, like something from pre-calamity.
I'll take it over to Casimir and I'll be like, here, we're leaving.
And he just kind of like, where did you get that? That's...
I asked, we're going.
Well, hold on. You said you found that over there.
Yes.
Can I have it? You can...
I like shoved it at him and I said,
All right.
here, or we're leaving.
He takes it and he's kind of like fiddling with it and like pressing on it and kind of messing with it a little bit. It doesn't react. And he's just kind of like looking at it like, a little kid that's just found a new toy. He's amazing.
Do we need to check to see if there are other similar objects, perhaps in the silt?
Well, I would think possibly we could go deeper and find more like this. There might be something larger, or something that might explain what this is. And he kind of like twists it and like he like walks over to where Briar is standing and like holds it next to the light, kind of like examines it.
Wait, so what is that, Casimir?
Well, I don't know, but if judging by its construction, I would guess it is from Ondair.
Do I know what that is?
Say again, it's what?
From Ondair. I don't know what it is. exactly. But it is certainly something interesting and very worthwhile.
So further in then.
Yes, I would hope so. If there are more such as this, then that will confirm my suspicions that the locations of large interspersed broomstone deposits are in fact remnants of crashed cities.
So does Briar have her magic thing? Can
That
she do
is
that right now?
that is a thing she can do.
She has where it's like, I think it's twice a day magic awareness. She can open her awareness to the presence of concentrated magic until the end of her next turn. She knows the location of any spell or magic. So I know, didn't she use it once, but she gets it twice. I just don't remember if she used it twice or not.
No, she still has one use of it.
Yeah. Would you guys
Vote
like to
on
use
whether
that?
or not she sees if that's magic.
Do I know what it does? Historical knowledge, when I enter ruin or dungeon, can correctly ascertain its original purpose, determine its builders, whether it's dwarves, elves, humans, whatever,
You can make
some other known race. In addition, can determine the monetary value of art objects more than a century old.
hold on.
Didn't go to history class for nothing.
It's your
You're
time to
more of a
shine,
Tomb
Snow.
Raider, but
That would apply more towards like ruins and things. But you could make an Arcana check with advantage. So, like, if you went into an ancient building, you'd probably be able to figure out what it is. Unfortunately, you cannot tell. But I would say that you
Damn.
would as well know that this is from Onder, one of the pre-calamity civilization.
Sweet.
How do you spell Onder?
Aundair.
so should we use Briar's magic thingy to figure out if it's magic?
Well, you can also sense if there are others, like buried in the vicinity.
Alright, well, if you guys would like Briar to do that, she activates her magic sense. It is non-magical. It seems mundane.
And there's no other magic in the area?
Besides what you guys are carrying, correct.
Can we maybe send Wanda to see if she can find stuff like that?
We can surely try, but she has not been doing very well lately.
Alright, go ahead and give me an investigation check for Wanda.
Just so that way, like, if we know it, if it's even up ahead or not.
So Wanda does not have investigation. Would you like me to roll that?
That's an intelligence check.
Never mind. She don't see anything.
Unfortunately,
So-
Wanda kind of scouts the room and a bit beyond where Javid had begun to move ahead. But Wanda, after a quick kind of cursory glance, does not note anything in particular.
I don't know what it is. It's got to be the drift globe being too bright. She doesn't seem to have found anything.
Javid, you scouted ahead, I believe.
Right. I started looking ahead.
Alright. There is another kind of like large continuation of this chasm, and at the edge of it, you can see that it kind of shrinks back down again into the narrow tunnel, snaking its way down.
And I realize that we're pretty worn out, tapped out in a lot of ways. But I think we should move on a bit. If they come looking for us, they'll expect us to be probably on the other side of this wall, so that's where they're going to be looking, is right in this vicinity. I'll
You mean
suggest
the
that
other
we...
side of the boulder that we moved?
Right. So they're expecting us to be stuck there, so they would come here to look for us on the other side of that disc gate thing. I'm saying
Sorry,
we move.
I want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. You're saying that they're going to notice the doors open and then know that we managed to get in here?
Well, I mean, just that they would come to this point looking for us. If we're not here, then they would not find us here when they come looking for us here. On the other side of that
Okay.
disc gate.
If majority votes we keep going, then we keep going.
Yes, I vote we keep going. He kind of pokes his head up from the device that he's holding.
Azrael, do you have anything that can get Demetari some life back into her?
So I thought there were temporary cookies that Briar had made that gives some hit points back that no one's used yet. I do have 2 spell slots and I could cast Cure Wounds. The problem is then if I use those spell slots, I can't get someone up off the ground, which is what I saved them for.
I am okay. I sucked some of the life from one of the scorpions, so it's not necessarily like I'm about to die. But I just won't be much help at this point. So Casimir, you might be having to pull some weight if you're wanting to keep going.
Sure, I'll participate more.
All right.
Do you want to eat one of the cookies? I think it'll give you like 2 hit points.
If there are cookies, yes, I would love a cookie.
Yeah,
There are 2 of them, and they give 2 temporary hit points.
Yeah, so that might prop you up a little bit.
Yeah, I think after being yanked from a pulley system, a cookie would do nicely.
Can she eat both of them? I think you're like the only one that's really injured,
Temp
right?
HP doesn't work like that. It doesn't stack.
No,
Oh,
I'll
I
just
thought it
take
gave
one
back
anyway.
actual hit points. Sorry.
Temp.
Sweet, so down that cookie, and then we need to find what we're looking for so we can leave, or a better place to hole up.
It's very delicious, Briar.
You're welcome.
Do you need a bow?
I could certainly use one. All I have is a dagger.
I
But
thought we had
actually,
picked up some short bows that we were carrying with us.
I wouldn't be very good at them. I only really know how to use a crossbow.
I mean, she has
Yeah, we picked up.
cantrips, right?
Do you have
Yeah, I've
cantrips?
got cantrips. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
I just don't want you to be standing there.
Oh no, I've got something. It's just not gonna be super
She's got Toll the Dead.
strong by any means.
Oh,
Yeah,
Toll
yeah.
the Dead's not bad. That's actually a pretty good spell.
Alright, I guess we're going deeper.
All right.
Excellent. Casimir just kind of like starts like walking behind you guys, and you see him like almost trip on something, and he kind of looks down and then keeps going as he's like fiddling with it.
Do we hear any signs of anything? Like, I know we probably smell ozone, but do we hear running water, pooled water, grumbling ogres, anything like that?
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
I am definitely looking out for any signs of those scorpions again.
Did we get any web bombs from them? Like, did we get anything from the filament harvesting?
We just got we got 2 filaments.
Yeah, you guys are able to get 2 of the filament sacks. You can use them for things.
Do we know if we like spike them on the ground, would they like explode in an AOE web bomb or something?
They would probably just go splat in a little puddle. But I'm sure if you guys were clever and ingenious, you could rig up some kind of like sticky bomb contraption. But that's probably going to take more time than you guys have right now.
This is just a random question. So, like, if I were to hold it in the palm of my hand, right, and like squeeze it,
It's like a
would I
tennis
be able to
ball.
like Spider-Man shoot some webbing?
Probably not. I think it had a very specific muscle that it used to launch them. It's a little bit too complicated, I think. You could probably like pull it apart by hand and like use it as like a sticky rope, but that's probably the extent of it.
And I couldn't figure out how the muscle worked when I was like sawing away at their bodies.
You got a 19, so you got them out, but one of them was probably damaged already from arrows to the face.
Alright.
Alright, and
I
we're moving.
apologize for nothing.
I am not even mad. I might not be here if it wasn't for arrows to the face.
Javid's moving forward and keeping to the shadows to stay invisible.
I'm gonna hand Demetari the torch back. You'll need this.
Thanks for picking it up, and I'll take it from her.
Alright, what is the marching order again?
I will be near whoever seems to be the most capable at the moment.
Okay,
And
so
who is that?
I have no idea who seems to be the most capable.
I would say it would go Javid, me, Snow, Asriel bringing up the rear, and then Briar kind of covering down for Demetari, who's limping along.
So they're in the middle, I would think, right?
Yeah.
Demetari and Casimir ought to be in the middle.
Did you get your system figured out, Liam?
Nope. So we won't be doing another fight this session, but we'll keep trotting along.
Okay.
But Demetari, who seems the most capable?
I don't. Whoever seems to be least injured and most.
This is in
willing.
character. Who's the most capable?
I didn't say it out loud. I'm looking.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I'm feeling a lot like an old friend of mine, Daphne. She was hanging out with Fred, and they had a dog, and she just kept being bait for all the bad guys.
So, as far as most least hit points lost, everyone else besides Demetari looks uninjured. They've not really been hit by anything. They all look good, you know. Demetari's the only one that's like kind of scuffed and scraped and dirty. Everyone else looks good. So whoever you normally of the party would rate most highly.
Okay. Well, I guess I will be sticking with Briar mostly because bigger light source as well. And she's in the middle, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect.
So yes, Javid's away up front, like beyond just at the very edge of your light sources, kind of staying invisible. And then it's Onyx, Briar, Dimitari, Casimir, and then bring up the rear is Snow and Azriel. Alright, well, stop moving yourself. There's nothing left on this.
Can Snow and I just be right outside, since we have dark vision, right outside the light, so that way other people who maybe don't have dark vision couldn't see us?
Sure.
And are there mushrooms as we're walking? Like you said, the path we were before didn't have mushrooms. Are there mushrooms here?
There's occasionally some of the similar mushrooms that you've seen closer to the surface. They're a little larger now. You can tell. Great big, like, sea of them.
This is not the time for psychedelics.
Quick question. Are the mushrooms the same color as the thing, the pre-calamity thing? Like, do they look
No.
related at all?
No. The pre-calamity thing is like a golden brass with like green glass on it, and the mushrooms are blue. All right. You continue kind of deeper and deeper until Javid. Ahead, you suddenly notice, and also Javid, you have advantage on stealth because you're basically invisible.
Yeah, that's right.
You didn't roll with advantage. You rolled straight.
Let's roll again.
Okay. You suddenly hear voices ahead of you.
Do I recognize what they're saying?
Let me check. You do not. Actually,
Right.
you would be able to. They're speaking common.
Oh.
It appears
Alright.
to be the sound of an ogre speaking to a smaller, squeakier voice. The ogre. I closed the gate behind us. How long should I wait before I go back? Is anybody else gonna come with me? In the smaller, squeakier voice. Everyone's gone off into the Underdark. There's no one to go back with you. The master says he's finishing up his work on the artifact. But once he's done, we'll escape off to our next location. And the ogre kind of, oh, alright, that makes sense, I guess. Nobody tells me anything. You note that the sound of the voices kind of coming around the corner, down one fork, and behind you there is another fork kind of heading off in a completely different direction. The rest of the party is coming along behind you.
I will.
Sorry, DM, just for my notes. You said that he said the master was working on the artifact and then would escape to move to the next location?
Yes, that is what they said.
All right. I will slip back to the next member of the party, relay the information that I've heard, and then telling them to pause a moment and not make any sound. Try to go and spy on the ogre and whoever it's talking to.
All
Are you
right.
gonna tell us anything, or are you just gonna tell
Well,
us
yeah,
to stop?
I went back and told you what I learned and said, wait here, I'm going to go find out more.
As you kind of like round this corner, maybe 15 feet in front of you, there is an ogre just kind of standing in front of this like opening of a doorway into a larger chasm, beyond which you can make out this like probably 15, 20 foot wide pool of water running down the center of this massive, probably 40 foot wide half dome. On either side of it, you can see two groups of goblins, both of them moving toward the far end. There are about 6 of them. Along the edge of this room, this kind of like, you can barely see it past the... You can make out what appear to be like stone walls almost, like no longer unnatural, but like natural, like smooth carved wall that look like they were very deliberately crafted there. As well, at the far end, just at the very edge of your vision, because I think you have a freaking 120 feet of vision.
No, it's only 90.
Okay, that makes more sense. So yeah, about the hall was maybe about 70 feet long, and you're kind of it's just near the edge of your vision. There is a pair of these like blue illuminated torches kind of flickering on either side of a massive brass door. And that is where we're going to stop, because that next stuff is probably combat. Actually, take that back. We will keep going, because I think you guys are probably going to want to take a rest of some kind.
Right, yeah. After giving this chasm, this domed room hall a look over, move back to the rest of the party, relay what I've learned, and say, if we're to move forward, we're likely to run into greater numbers of our foe, and so perhaps a rest would be called for.
Where? Didn't the ogre say he was going to come back?
Right, he was asking for help in going back, but was refused. I don't know that he would want to go by himself. As we've proved, we can take care of ogres. I would guess
You only saw one ogre and 6 goblins.
Yep.
Question. Do we want to risk the completion of the artifact? That is another consideration.
Do what with the artifact?
Well, you said that the master is working on the artifact, that it means the artifact is not done. If we rest, the artifact would be done. That might be concerning.
Perhaps it would be done. Maybe it takes 5 days to be done. But we feel strong enough to try to finish off this scouting party of goblins and ogre. Or maybe we don't have to finish them off. We recruit them. We say, hey, join us and you'll be on the winning side.
There's more of us than there are of you. You can go with us.
Can we kidnap one of the goblins? Rather than fighting them all, maybe have some stealthy kidnap one of the goblins so we can learn what's going on.
Yeah.
Kidnap, bring it back to us.
Do the walls seem to echo when someone speaks?
Yes, if you speak with a loud enough volume, you can tell that your voice carries along the stone.
So if you were to kidnap, we would need to make sure he can't... I mean, it's... In theory, if you kidnap him, we could gag him and then speak telepathically, but you don't want to run the risk of him screaming and alerting everyone else of his whereabouts.
So if we kidnap quickly, quietly, you can speak without making noise.
Yes. That is if he's willing to reply, which I guess, giving him limited options, it might be possible.
We need to know more. We can option 1, rest, and come back and figure out what's going on. However, that risks completion of the artifact. However, they might be completely gone. So, there's that's options. 2, we go in without information, fight the scouting party, and that brings the risk of, we're depleted and we might die. However, the only one that's injured right now is Demetari. Or 3, the out of the box option of kidnapping one of the goblins and trying to get information and then deciding from there. So those are our 3 options. We could vote.
I think there's a 4th option. I think we could kidnap an ogre.
The ogre doesn't seem to know anything. The goblin does. The goblin's a smarter move.
And physically easier. Did it seem like any of the goblins were kind of separated from the rest?
There were 2 groups of 3, and they were walking away from Javid towards the brass door.
Yeah, that would be hard to single one out unless you guys wanted to kill all but one. But, who knows what's on the other side of that brass door and what may come out of it if they hear a scuffle.
That seems more like option 2.
I think finding a hole to sleep for the night, sleep for a while, is our best bet. Going in, not just injured, but out of abilities as well, is just going to make everything exponentially harder.
Could you disguise yourself as a goblin, Azrael?
Tall goblin. I can only go. I'm 5'7". I would be a 4'7" goblin.
Okay.
That's probably normal
Yep.
for goblins.
Is that a normal size for goblins? Because I can only go a foot shorter. So,
Pretty sure goblins are medium sized, so yeah.
Okay. I do not speak Goblin. However, I do speak Common and Underdark. Let's see.
Javid, what
yeah.
language were they speaking when you overheard their conversation?
Common.
It was common.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah,
If you want
I
to
could
try,
disguise myself as a goblin and
Good.
maybe draw one away. To
That, and you
kidnap.
could probably
Actually-
command the ogre around.
The 2 of us can go, and I can disguise myself as well.
So, okay, so if we disguise ourselves, what's the objective? Are we going to...
Let's try to talk one of the squads into joining us. Maybe even the ogre too, and say, hey, the intruders are getting through the gate, and so we need to go and stop them. Come with us. Peel off some number of them, and then the rest of you standing back here, jump them and cut their throats when we walk past.
So, what we need is information. Agreed or disagreed?
Yeah, right. And so the object would be to leave one of them alive.
So,
I mean, if we kill them and count their bodies, we'll know how many there were.
why not just grab one? Try to just convince one, if not 2, that's something manageable, into our location, and then we be ready with a trap.
I think it's more likely that we can get an ogre and maybe one of the squads.
we want one just to learn information, right? So either we go in
Do you have a
attack these
plausible?
and leave one alive to learn what's going on, or B, we turn ourselves into goblins, try to convince either the ogre, who doesn't seem to know anything, so I don't know if that's the best idea, or B, one of the goblins to kind of, or at least lead them away so we can grab them. That's the idea. We don't
Wait,
want them to, they don't have to be willing. We just need to get them separated enough that we can grab
I
them.
think we're overcomplicating this. Instead of trying to trap them, why not go in and just ask them questions as a goblin? Just pretend you forgot the information and just ask them for a brush up on what's going on. You've been out for a while and you're back for the master and
We
you
could
need
be a
to
hunting
figure out.
party. That's a good idea. Although, usually, what was the average size of the hunting parties? Were they like 4 goblins and
We,
ogre?
we've come back because we're the survivors of a hunting party that was ambushed.
Okay, yeah, sure. So we're a hunting party. We were ambushed. We came back for more direction from the master.
And if I don't know how far disguise self goes, but if you want to really make it theatrical, I could possibly make it look like you got scuffed up a bit.
Well, I can do that with disguise self. So you make yourself, your clothing, and your armor and other belongings in your person look different. So I mean, I could have like blood coming from my head.
Dimitar just walks up and decks Asriel.
You want blood? You got blood.
Unnecessary. I can do myself. myself.
As exciting as that sounds, I actually have makeup that was planned instead of physical harm.
So
Much
it'll
more
last an
convincing than the
hour.
real thing.
But yeah, okay. So I think Javid and I can turn into goblins that look like they were in a fight, and then just go and talk. And then I don't know, you guys at least be within hearing range in case stuff goes bad. But that does lead to the option that if stuff goes bad, we'd get into a fight. So that we're doing this with the understanding that there is a chance we could get into a fight.
Sounds like you guys are gonna really have to sell it. I can bring Wanda nearby, look, see what's going on, and then understand that if you hear her that we know you guys are in trouble and we are going to come in and help you.
I mean, this is a terrible idea. If we really wanted to sell it, we could be a hunting party and we could bring someone in, like, Demetari, who's kind of damaged, and be like, hey, we brought somebody for the master.
I
But
hate
that's
how
a terrible
clever that
idea.
is.
I'm not suggesting we would do. I'm just saying. I'm throwing it out there.
I mean, it's not a bad idea because if things do go south, hopefully I could do something really quickly, like have some sort of magic prepared.
Or you could do your makeup thing and we could do it on Briar. Because Briar is probably better in melee.
If we bring in a prisoner, they're going to say, well, just take it into the master so we can scoop its brains out. And then we go, oh, okay, yeah, let's have our meeting with the master and get somebody's brains scooped.
I mean, if we wanted to get in to see the
Got it.
master, that's how we would do it.
So I think we're not quite ready to have anybody's brain scooped yet.
I can also turn one creature invisible. So let's see. I can turn myself into a goblin-ish. I can turn some other creature invisible that's with us. But there's also the option if we're asking for information, they tell us to go and see the master anyways.
Then
That's
we'll
when
just
you
kill him.
just play it off. Like, I don't want to look like a fool in front of the master, so will you help a fellow goblin out? Just kind of roll with it and see how it goes, I guess. And
Okay.
again, it could be like you guys are survivors, whoever you end up imprisoning, if that's what we're gonna do. That'll be the last one who attacked you, and that would help validate the fact that you guys don't know a lot of what's going on recently.
Yeah, I do think we would sell it better if we had somebody for the master. I'm just scared in that it might make it say, "Hey, go see the master." However, if it's somebody like Briar who, can, but then she would. Thing is, well, might be like, "Why didn't you remove her weapons?"
Okay, so say things go south, you save invisibility, make it to where the person manages to escape somehow, you cast invisible on them, and then there's no body to find.
What?
Okay, so like you bring a prisoner and things go south, they want to show it to the master, brains are about to get scooped out. Prisoner can get away from you guys, but beforehand, like somehow in the midst of all that, you cast invisibility on them so that it's like they ran and you can't find them now. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. But when they see that I casted invisibility, it's a verbal, somatic, and material. Although, I mean, material is from, it's kind of, I cast it through my tattoo, but like it's verbal and somatic. I mean, I'm moving and talking. So, I mean, I guess I could do sleight of hand to try to hide that I'm casting it. But I guess at the point, if it goes south anyways, then we're kind of screwed. So
Well, do you have like what do you have to touch the person to cast this?
I don't have to touch it. However, the spell itself is verbal and somatic. So they will
Right.
see that I am casting a spell.
So as you are scrambling to try to get the prisoner, you don't think that you could move your hands in your mouth in the midst of cursing about losing the prisoner?
Depends on how good of my sleight of hand roll check is.
Yeah. It's an idea. Don't have to
No,
do it.
I'm
I'm
not
just
saying
throwing
it's
it
not a
out
bad
there.
idea. I agree. I kind of like the idea of being goblins and then having Briar, because Briar is strong. My concern is if we bring a prisoner who still has the weapons on them, that's a concern.
Why don't you hold on to her weapons?
I could do that. Okay.
All right, let's see how this goes.
Do you want to do your makeup stuff though to make Briar look like, she's been damaged?
Heck,
Sure.
make her look dead.
Yeah, near death. Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah,
she's about to
yeah.
faint.
I am really good at this. Normally I'm doing the reverse, but this will be a fun project. I wish she was here. She would be role-playing the shit out of this.
Okay. So, Briar and Azriel are approaching the ogre guard.
So Javid and Azriel are going to disguise self to look like goblins,
Got it.
and they're going to say they're a hunting party, and they're bringing Briar as a sacrifice to the master.
Got it. What are the rest of you guys doing?
We are waiting to see how it plays out. I am going to be, I'm going to, I guess, okay, words. Yeah, I'm gonna send Wanda out. I'm not gonna look through her eyes or anything. She's going to alert us of anything that seems like it's going south. Like, basically, if they're caught, we're gonna jump in.
Well, if you're looking through her eyes, you'll be able to know what's going on.
Yeah, but if you guys get more than 120 feet, then I can't. So, I mean, I can do it until she goes past the 120 feet, and then she'll just have to who, and I'm sure it'll echo to us.
I have a question. So if we were to walk up, how you said the chasm was 70 feet, right?
It is 70 feet long, 40 feet wide, 25 feet tall. And there is a 20-foot wide pool of water that runs about 50 feet along the center of the room.
So the goblins are more than 120 feet from where we are right now, right?
And yeah, much further than that. You
Okay.
guys are probably, I would say, like 40 feet away from like around a corner, a couple corners from where the ogre is standing. So easily, yeah, maybe not 120. So it's close. I would say that you could look through Wanda's eyes. I thought it was 100 feet.
It should be 120, but I have it pulled up. Let me double check. It might be 120 telepathic, but
Either way, you would be able to see the entire chamber through Wanda's eyes.
you are right. It is within 100 feet.
But it's still, it's the chamber from where you are currently standing to, as the crow flies, the end of the chamber is only 110 feet. So unless Wanda wants to go sit literally on the far wall of the chamber, you're going to be able to look through her eyes.
All right. Is there something she could perch on, like up high, that isn't going to be her flapping around in the cavern?
There are rocks everywhere.
Okay, yeah, she'll just perch somewhere, I guess, because I don't want just like this random owl flapping around in a cave.
Go ahead and give me a stealth check for Wanda.
Azrael, how's your ability to deceive people? Can you pull off the? If anybody asks, what are you guys up to? Can you be persuasive?
So I am okay, better than average.
No, I am worse than average.
I
Before
should
you
talk.
leave.
All right,
Before
I
you
think
leave.
before we go into this, I think we are going to take a 10-minute break.
Okay.
Are we going into combat again?
We will not go into combat, but we will see how far you guys can get in your role play.
Oh. Liam, did I show you my horn?
You did not, but I love it. Looks great.
Thank you.
That's a drinking horn? Awesome.
All right,
What
so we're
animal
going
is
to take
that
a break.
from?
10-minute break. We'll be back at 1900.
Cow.
Yeah, it's just a steer. I'm very bougie, drinking peanut butter porter out of it.
Interesting. Um,
everybody. Welcome back. So, can everybody hear me?
No.
Yep.
Okay, I couldn't hear anything from you guys. I got a little worried there. So, with...
Well, we stopped talking as soon as you did, out of respect.
Thank you.
But then I interrupted you.
That's okay.
Respect.
So, Javid, Azriel, and Briar set off away from the rest of the party towards the Ogre Guard. As you approach, you note that the doorway is empty this time, Javid. The Ogre is not standing there. However, as you get closer, you can make out the 6 goblins at the far end, kind of loitering in a small group. You kind of step into the opening, and to your right, this ogre kind of looks down at you and, how'd you get there?
Oh, fuck you, big thing.
Sorry.
What do you mean lurking behind the doorway like that?
Just supposed to keep guard. There's,
Oh, good job. We got in.
well, I mean, aren't you supposed to be here? Who's that? And he kind of points at Briar.
For the master.
Oh. Alright, can I get you guys to give me a deception?
Can we have advantage if Briar's doing if Emily was here, she would be role playing like crazy this, and she would be doing like, can I do a performance check for Briar and then give us advantage?
I mean, right now Briar is just kind of standing there pretending to be like a prisoner. Not a lot of performance involved.
She could start crying.
Yeah, that's
she's
what
a
I'm thinking.
quiet
Like,
third party today.
I just know Emily, and she would be super role playing at this point.
Chris, you're what's the Jaegering Briar?
All right. Well, the ogre got a -1 on his insight checks.
I'm so good I don't have to do anything.
He just kind of, that makes sense to me. Go over there. And he just kind of points over at the far door.
Yeah, thanks. You're not the boss of me.
I don't even know you. And he
Can
kinda
I just
lumbers in
whisper
front
to
of the door.
David, I'm supposed to do the talking.
Sorry, I'm getting in a roll.
Remember, you're below average.
Yeah, you're great.
All right.
So
As you guys
I'll
step-
give the ogre the stink eye and move off toward the other group.
He's got like his tusk, and he kind of snarls at you and gives you like a, stink eye right back, but he doesn't really do anything. And then he just kind of lumbers in front of the doorway this time and like almost like plops himself down into like this like little squat.
All right, so we make our way around the edge of the pool, and
Are the goblins reacting at all when they see us?
As you guys do get closer, you see one of the goblins kind of breaks off from the rest of the group. What you guys can make out now, as you are beginning to kind of move across the room, is that the walls don't look like they were like constructed here originally. It doesn't look quite right. It's as though the like rock almost like grew around the walls here.
knowing what we've been told by Casimir about the floating cities and Calamity and all of that, would we guess that this looks like pre-Calamity construction that got absorbed by the mountain or something?
That would be a likely assumption to make, yes. As you guys get closer, you can see that the goblins aren't just loitering in a group. They are, in fact, seem to be arranging a group of small crates. They're kind of like moving them about, transferring things from crates into large like satchels, and then kind of slinging them onto their backs. As you guys kind of start to cross the room, you see one of them like opens the great brass door and kind of disappears through to the other side.
Do we see anything? Like when he opens the door, can we like peek in? Like what's it look like? Can we see any light?
You can make a perception check. By the way, that ogre rolled horrible. As you guys are crossing through, Wanda kind of like flies in over his head and just like lands on one of the like carved pillars kind of in the middle of the room, and it's just like her head on a swivel, just like watching you guys move across the room. The ogre rolled he rolled a modified 1 for his perception check, so he did not notice.
Terrible
Well
guard.
done, Ogre.
Yeah. Well, he rolled a nat 1 for the insight check, which got modified down to a -1. So, you're very believable. What you can see as the door opens is that this, like, kind of brighter blue glow, like, comes out of the space. And then the goblin shuts the door behind himself.
How far away are the goblins that are putting stuff in sacks?
At this point, they're probably about 50 feet away. And one of the goblins kind of meets you in the middle of the room. What are you guys doing here?
For the master. What are you doing?
We're a hunting party.
Make a deception check. Where's the rest of your group? We sealed it up behind.
We got into a scuffle. They were killed. We were only able to get this one. You gotta watch her. Wily little bug.
Well, the master will want to see you very soon then.
What are you doing with the crates?
Well, we're getting ready to leave. There's adventurers attacking us. You already scuffled with them.
Yeah.
Why are you running?
So if you...
We're not strong enough yet for people to know where we are. There aren't that many of us. Hey, just hurry up. Go see the master. And he kind of like turns and just kind of like hunched over, shuffles back up to the crate. You guys kind of follow along behind him. As this is happening and you guys get closer, you can see what they're taking out of the crate. Appears to be mostly food items, actually. It's various things that you can tell they're probably taking for like an underdark trek. It's food items, blankets, spare torches, various other things that might come in handy down there. Ropes, that sort of thing.
Yeah, we should get ready too. Let's help ourselves to some rations and stuff.
No, not yet. These are for the trek. You go see the master. And he kind of like shuffles over to the crates and then gestures at the door.
Just looking around the room, can I see, I know you pointed out the walls are pre-calamity. Can I see anything else that looks like it might be pre-calamity?
The door. The door is very obvious.
The
So
door
it
is
is a similar
pre-calamity?
manufacturer to
Okay.
the item that you found earlier. It is this like great brass, like solid metal wall with like these like little thin strips of green and like multicolored glass kind of like running along the length of it. It's very artistic.
And what's the lighting level in here? You mentioned
It
the glow
is
coming from the door.
It is bright light from 30 feet from the door, and then dim light 30 feet beyond that. On either side of the door, there are two like little sconces with like kind of coming out of the wall, and there's this like constant blue flame that flickers only ever so slightly. And this, as you guys get closer, you can tell is the source of the ozone smell, most likely. The door, I should say, not the torches.
All right, so I'm gonna whisper to Briar, and I'm just gonna go 1, 2, and then I'm gonna, because we had talked about this plan, and then I'm going to try to sleight of hand, cast invisibility on her,
On Briar.
on Briar, like kind of handing her weapons to her after she turns invisible. Because as soon as I cast invisibility, here's my plan. I'm going to cast invisibility on Mariah, and I'm going to be like, that squirrely bug! She got away! Where'd she go? And that way, like, we're not,
There
like...
is a verbal, somatic, and material cost for...
So the material component would come from my holy symbol, which is the tattoo on my back.
True, yes.
The other two, I'd have to use sleight of hand. That's what I was talking to
Well,
Reagan about, to try to hide the fact that I'm doing it.
You would not be able to sleight of hand the verbal component of the spell, because just because there's other skills that allow you to, like subtle spell from like sorcerers. You can't hide a spell like that, basically.
I'm going to try to obfuscate what Azrael is incanting by shouting out in draconic, just random words. Everybody.
Okay. If you
Can I try to make it sound like Briar is casting the spell?
Whatever Jim's doing. So I'm going to say that you can go ahead and give me a performance check to see if you can make it not quite so obvious that you cast a spell, but they are going to notice that a spell was cast.
Yeah, so maybe I can try to make it look like Briar cast it and not me. Like kind of performance of like me struggling with her and like, cursing, and then like maybe she can try to pretend, like just kind of make the commotion so it kind of sounds like maybe she's doing it.
Okay.
Does that make sense? I'll try a perform. I don't know. We'll try.
Sure, give me a performance check. Okay. Alright, you kind of, grab hold of Briar suddenly and, like, lurch forward, say the verbal and somatic portions of the spell, like turning her weapons over to her, and she vanishes in front of you. All the other goblins begin, like, hey, what happened? Where'd she go? And they just, like, draw their, like, little, short swords and kind of, like, get to the ready.
Alright. So then... Yeah, I guess it would continue the performance, kind of making it look like I'm trying to look for her.
She ran back this way. Come on, everybody.
What?
And
Don't
I will
lead them to our party.
Try to lead them back to our party. Hey, you big oaf, get out of the way.
No, what? No, I think she's over here.
Alright. All 5 of the goblins kind of like, yeah, she's trying to get away! Quick, ogre, don't let her escape! And all 5 of them start, like, running towards the far wall.
And I'll try to find a shadow, a nook or something in the darkness and duck into it to hide.
There's not... It's a pretty open and... There's not really, like...
So there aren't irregularities in the wall?
So, the last half of the wall is the, like, manufactured, like, smooth carved stone. There's no, like...
Right. So that's the end closest to the door, right? So if we run the other way
Sure.
toward the opening...
Yes, it does get, like, closer to, like, dim light in that region. In darkness.
So I'm trying to give them the impression that I saw the captive run off back the way we came.
Okay. Alright, so you lead the 5 goblins back towards the ogre. And you're trying to disappear once they get over to the ogre?
Right.
Okay. Azrael, what are you doing? You are alone in front of the great brass and glass door.
Are they paying attention to me? Because, like, at first I'd act like I was looking for her, but then I was like, oh, wait, I think she might have gone this way. And I'd, like, kind of go towards the door.
No, they're not really paying attention to you.
Can I kind of just investigate the door?
Sure, give me an investigation check. It is unlocked. That much you can tell. It is it is actually two doors, but the goblins have been going in and out of the right one, and it swings away from you.
Can I hear anything on the other side?
Not that you can tell. You mostly hear the echoing sounds of goblins shouting. At the far end, where Javid has now disappeared, the five goblins and the ogre are kind of like the ogre's like playing goalie in front of the door, and then the five goblins are just kind of like swatting at the air. Briar is just invisible, kind of standing in the middle of the room away from them, probably 30, 40 feet away. And they're just like swatting wildly at the air, like in front of them, like, yeah, I gotcha! And they just like lunge forward and like cut the air, and they're like, I missed. Fired again, I missed. So that's what's happening over there.
I would like to inform the party that's behind the ogre that the goblins are sort of coming this way, but the ogre seems to be stopping them, just basically having them get at the ready just in case.
Can I open the door?
It is unlocked. The door swings open, revealing similar of these like smooth brass walls and floor as well on this side. It is a little bit tarnished. You can see water spots have formed in certain places. There's dust built up around the corners. But it is illuminated by identical blue torches. The room
Do I
is quiet.
see any mind flare in
No.
there?
So as you continue swinging the door open, you... Hold on, let me check my notes. It is about 30 feet from the door to another similar looking door. As the door swings open the rest of the way, you note that the right wall has fallen away and crumbled. And it opens up into this like deep chasm below. There is a rope, or a couple ropes, kind of tied off at the top, dangling down into this opening. And this like hole kind of like cuts away probably about a third of the diameter or the width of the passageway.
I'm gonna undo those ropes and take them.
All right. You enter the room and untie the ropes, kind of placing them into your path.
Would I be able to, from my concealed position, fire an arrow down the passage beyond the ogre to make a noise, make it sound like maybe the escaped captive is gone down that way?
You can certainly try.
You want me to do a performance check to see if they buy that?
No, this would be an attack roll in the direction of the ogre. But you're not actually shooting
I'm not-
at the ogre. But
no,
it is
I'm firing down
make an attack roll, basically.
If he gets in that one, does he hit the ogre?
If he gets a certain roll, he definitely is going to shoot the ogre.
Crit fail.
Think you hit the ogre.
You did shoot the ogre. You just like launch the arrow with like, boom, and it catches the ogre in the gut. And he, ow! You're shooting at me. sure, actually. I believe attacking.
It was hidden, so I have advantage.
If you are hidden, when you make an attack, you give away your location.
But I'm still invisible.
That is.
Right, I found a little nook where I was.
There, well, there's not really any nooks. You're just in, like, against the wall in the darkness on this side of the room. But per the, it is on unseen attackers and targets. If you are hidden, both unseen and unheard, which you are technically invisible, when you make an attack, you give away your location. They know you are there, basically.
Could he play it off like Briar did it?
Well, they don't know who did it. They know that where Javid is currently standing, someone attacked them from there.
Well, can he pretend like he was trying to?
Sure, I'll step out and say, and point back the opposite direction. It's over there, behind the crates.
Make a performance check at disadvantage. Or a deception check, I should say, at disadvantage. That guy shot at us! And they point right at you. Get him!
Yeah, I feel like this point we're going to do initiative.
Well, we're about to. So, Azrael, you do not know this is happening. What are you doing? You are in that hallway by yourself, between the two doors.
Yeah, so there's a door in front of me, right, and a door behind me, and then there's the hole, and I was pulling up the ropes, right?
Yeah, you pulled the ropes up. They went down about 50 feet into darkness beyond what you can see.
I'd probably peek through the other door.
All right.
And I'm trying to be stealthy, I guess, but I do look like a goblin, so I'm probably like, okay, I can take a peek.
All right. Go ahead and give me a stealth. Actually, we kind of did one earlier, didn't we?
What?
No, we didn't. All right. Hold on, I gotta pull up a Mind Flayer stat block.
I'm about to get scooped, aren't I?
Well, somebody's about to get messed up.
Yeah, let's see. We have you about to be attacked by 6 goblins and an ogre. I'm probably just going to antagonize a Mind Flayer, and there is our other party who's sitting there just... Yeah.
All right. The door opens, and it swings to your right. As it kind of opens up to the left, you notice this hooded shape, shadow projected on the wall to your left. There's a crackle of energy and a smell in the air.
I'm gonna shut the door.
Like. All right, fine. We're gonna.
No, as soon as I see that, I'm like,
nope. He was getting ready.
Well, before you shut it, I will describe what else you saw on the left.
Okay.
There was an operating table, complete with manacles. There was nothing in it. However, there was a table arrayed behind it with a variety of strange metallic implements. That was all you saw. Alright, I guess we'll stop here with Javid getting absolutely murdered by a group of goblins and ogre.
So I think we should, hopefully Emily will be here next time, ask her in this situation if she really would have just been standing in the middle of the room, if she would have...
We can say she would have been able to maneuver by herself. We'll ask her where she wants to be in the room once I put the map down and we're ready to actually roll for initiative. But
yeah, because I'm curious if she would have followed Azrael or actually snuck past and gone back to the other group.
So I would say that probably the group that was left behind is smart enough, based on Dimitar telling them that this was all happening, that you guys would have been able to move closer, basically to the back of the ogre, ready to strike. So
yeah, we would have been making our way downtown.
All right.
Well, walking fast.
Yeah, there's probably also a lot of screaming and cursing
Yeah, you guys
and
would have heard shouting. The goblins aren't being quiet. So, hope you guys had fun and you are ready to meet the Mind Flayer next time.
I had to enact the big reveal, okay?
Well, you didn't even let me finish. We got like
Well,
30%
I thought you were
of the
gonna
way
say,
through.
and it attacks you. And I
No.
was like, ah!
He was on the other side of the room. I was, projecting the shadow on the wall because he's standing right next to a light source. It was a whole dramatic thing, all right?
I'm sorry.
All right.
I appreciate all the work you put into this.